So now we've understood what public does, what protected does, what static does, and what private does as well. But what about a scenario where we don't use any of these modifiers? Let's say we do not specify any modifier at all. What would happen at that point? So let's say, for example, here, instead of having protected, public, private, or anything, we just don't type in anything. Let's just say we define it as just int any variable, or along with a variable with no modifiers. What if also there is a method that has no modifiers at all? What if this is the method and we have not specified any modifier? What would happen in that case? So when we do not specify a modifier, what Java does is assign a default modifier. And how much control does the default modifier allow? What access does the default modifier allow? So if you do not specify anything, Java has a default modifier, and that default modifier only allows the variables and the methods to be available in the same package classes. So here, ASD, main, these two classes will be able to access the method subtract and the variable any variable. And of course, they will be able to access the public methods and variables, but the ones with no modifiers, the default modifiers, ASD and main will be able to access them as well because they are classes in the same package as mathutils. So if you have a class in a package, and if you have variables and methods with no modifiers, then those variables and methods will be accessible by instances of that class, but only in other classes in the same package. It is a bit different than protected. What protected did is it allowed you access in the same package, but it also allowed access in another package if that other class in the other package is a child of mathutils, right? But here the default modifier is different. It does not allow access to any child classes in other packages. It only allows access if you have an instance of mathutils in a class that is in the same package. So if we have an instance of mathutils in ASD, that instance will be able to access any variable in subtract. If we have an instance of mathutils in main, that instance will be able to access any variable and subtract. But if we have a mathutils instance in, let's say, here in manager or employee or anywhere here or even anywhere in this package, those instances of mathutils will not be able to access any variable and subtract. So I hope you understand that. I'll just show you an example. So if we go to the main class, we have an instance of the mathutils class here, right? The instance name is mu. So we can see if mu can access subtract in any variable. We type mu and then we type dot, and you see subtract is available. Any variable is available. You can use it here. Great. What about this class, ASD? We have an instance of mathutils named new mu. So let's see if new mu can access subtract and any variable. You see they can. Subtract and any variable are available to ASD because ASD is in the same package as mathutils, right? And we're using the default modifiers for subtract and any variable, right? So ASD class has an instance of mathutils, and that instance can access any variable and subtract. Great. But what about here in manager? Let's say this is a different package, a different class. And here we have an instance of mathutils. This is the name of the instance, right? Mu class in different package. So let's see if this instance can access subtract and any variable. It cannot. Subtract and any variable are not available here because this is a class in a different package. So that's what a default modifier does. Only allows you access if you have an instance of your class in other classes of the same package.